Tonight on News 5 Live, favoring cronies and settling below market value. The Commission of Inquiry presents its findings on vehicle sales before the election. Could sitting members of the House be in jeopardy? The new Minister of Health says he is prepared for the pandemic. And the UDP claims schools are not getting the supplies they need to be safe. Details of these stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
The ministry is collaborating with SpeedNet Communications to have a vaccination campaign for children ages 12 to 17 years. Children who get vaccinated will get a chance to win fabulous prizes, including backpacks with supplies, Nintendo Switch, tablets, book tuitions, and MiFi with 3 months data. Only children 12 to 17 years old can participate in this smart and Ministry of Health and Wellness raffle. At vaccination sites, each vaccinated child, upon being vaccinated, will receive a ticket to place their name, age, date of birth, BHIS number, and contact information on, which will be filled out by a parent or legal guardian. The sooner a person vaccinates, the more chances he or she will have to win. Get vaccinated, please. Vaccination saves lives.
New Year's is a time for us to make hearty resolutions that will help us better our lives, and then promptly forget about them. However, there are some resolutions we shouldn't forget about. Join us for our new series, 100%, where we'll be talking about being 100% in on things like our relationship with God, our spouses, finances, and more. Tune in at 10 a.m. right here on Channel 5 Belize.
Need a paint which offers superior quality and durability? Then the choice is easy. Designed specifically for your home's exterior, Benjamin Moore Ultra Spec EXT offers ultra smooth performance. It's easy to apply, has low odor, and is mildew resistant. Bring life to your home by choosing the color and sheen to suit your style. Benjamin Moore Paints, available at Benny's. Celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
Child Development Foundation, or CDF as we are popularly known, has been partnering with Social Security Board since 2015. Social Security Board supports our child protection initiatives. They support us to build capacity for teachers and parents to identify the indicators of abuse. In particular, they support our counseling center so that we can provide trauma-focused counseling therapy to children who have been abused. Social Security has also supported our prevention program, the Rise Girls program, to help us to equip young women who are in primary and secondary school to understand more about adolescent development and also to build good self-esteem and to build safe social networks.
Over the past 6 years, we have established a partnership with the Social Security Board. It has assisted us in addressing some of their social welfare needs and health care needs of our older persons, specifically in Belize City, San Ignacio, and Belmopan. We have had the opportunity to do home visits with our geriatrician and physiotherapists. We distribute meals to them. We also have that opportunity to interact with them, to observe them. There are needs that may be identified. If we can address those, we do so.
Social Security has been one of our biggest donors throughout the years, and the services that they provide to us is basically financial, and it helps with a lot of things here at the center like bills and groceries. The center is a drop-in center for the mentally ill, elderly, homeless, deportees. They come here, they take a shower, they get their breakfast, they get their lunch, and they also do recreational stuff here at the center. They can watch television, they listen to music, they play games, and they just, interact with each other, because here it's like a family.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, January 11th. I am Sabrina Daly. The Commission of Inquiry into the sale of public assets between October 2019 and November 2020 is over, and its report was released today. The findings in the 46-page document are not entirely surprising. 22 witnesses called to testify, including former Prime Minister Dean Barrow, and at least 3 former ministers of government between February and August of last year. Today, the Commissioner Chair, Senior Counsel Andrew Marshallek, told News 5 that the Commission found that none of the sales that took place under the previous administration were in compliance with the law. He explained that this was the case because the Ministry of Finance had adopted an informal procedure to sell off the assets. Because the process did not follow the legal guidelines for such sales, everyone who participated in those transactions, including 2 ministers of government at the time, were violating the law.
The sale of public assets is governed by the provisions of the Finance and Audit Reform Act, and it requires that the sales be done through one of 3 possible tendering processes: the open tender, the selective tender, or the limited tender. There wasn't an attempt to do any of it, so that all the sales fell afoul of the law. Given that the procedure itself, the informal procedure adopted by the Ministry of Finance for selling cars, was itself flawed. Everybody who participated in wrongdoing in that procedure would have been guilty of some wrongdoing. The trouble is that it was a collective whole that was doing it wrong. Each and every moving part within the process, and not even any one individual. So the whole thing was bad, and even purchasers would have gotten unwittingly caught up in that wrong procedure.
In a scenario like this, can anyone or can the collective group be held accountable, responsible?
Well, everybody must be held accountable, and it must be corrected going forward. I know when people ask that, they generally ask it in the context of somebody being criminally charged or being punished for what happened. I don't think that can happen.
The Commission of Inquiry report also detailed the sale of vehicles from the government's vehicle care unit. Laptops and specially made furniture sold off during the period under investigation. Chairman Marshallek told us that the only transactions that the current government can pursue legally would be one involving a former minister.
The only aspect of what came out of the Commission's inquiries that we've recommended be further investigated with a view to possible criminal prosecution would arise out of the sale of the Tacoma to Honorable Hugo Pat, and the relationship with Kelvin Lee, and the relationship, if any, that those had to the sale of government lands to Kelvin Lee. That would have been the most significant possibility where criminal behavior could have taken place, and it certainly needs to be looked into further.
Is that your recommendation?
Yes, we've recommended that. We've also made a recommendation in relation to government entering into contracts with members of the National Assembly, because that has repercussions as to the qualification of members of the National Assembly to continue to sit in that assembly. And no regard seems to have been had to the fact that members of the National Assembly were entering into contracts to buy vehicles from the government. So two things need to be done there. One, the authorities need to make a determination as to whether that contract is one of the contracts that have that type of contract is one of the types of contract that has the effect of disqualifying a member from sitting without the proper authorization. In the case of member of the House, if I remember correctly, you need a vote of the House to allow it to be done. And in relation to the Senate, I think you need the fiat of the Governor General in order to do it. So that's the first thing, to make a determination whether that's the type of contract that disqualifies members from continuing to sit. And two, if it is, then you need to establish a mechanism for it to be monitored. There needs to be some sort of reporting mechanism to the Clerk of the National Assembly when these types of contracts are entered into, so that he can take appropriate steps in accordance with the Constitution. The issue doesn't seem to have been addressed, and it too needs to be addressed. What really needs to happen is that government's own public procurement policies need to be followed. And if it is that they must be legislated for them to be followed, then that needs to happen. You see, the fact of the matter is that from all the way back in 2013, I believe, the Ministry of Economic Development published a public procurement handbook as part of the public financial management system reform, which was the big push for reform in transparency and accountability in government spending. So consultants were hired, thousands of dollars were spent, reports were prepared and published, draft regulations were prepared for promulgation under the Finance and Audit Reform Act by our IMF working group, submitted to government from as far back as 2018. So the government has been aware of these problems and also aware of how to fix it from all the way back then. I'd go back, the inception report from the consultant was all the way back in 2010. So the question is, how is it that in 2020, these transgressions are still happening? And you have to question how in the face of all of that, can all the rules, all the recommendations be ignored and none of it implemented or followed? And that is where I think there should be significant concern.
The new Minister of Health, Kevin Bernard, spoke to News 5 on Monday about the direction he intends to take the ministry he is in and how he will address the many challenges that the ministry faces in the midst of a COVID crisis. The minister started off by thanking Prime Minister John Bersenio for placing the confidence in him to steer the ministry out of strong currents. Minister Bernard said that as the new minister, he wants to take a look at the entire structure of the ministry to identify the strengths and weaknesses and also to build the morale of the personnel. He pledged to listen to the medical professionals around him.
My utmost goal is to surround myself with the right people, the technical people. Heed advice. One thing I can say in leadership is that you just don't only lead from top bottom, but you lead also from bottom up. You need to be able to listen to everybody around you, get the right advice. I'm no doctor, but you have to be able to listen to the legal experts that will guide the best manner in which we can lead this ministry. We're in the middle of Omicron. We don't know what other variant may come to this country. We are poised as a government to ensure that we can do our utmost best to reduce the effects of COVID in this country on the health of our nation, but at the same time to turn things around as it relates to the services provided by all of our facilities publicly here in Belize. So I am confident, I'm optimistic, that while this is a new chapter in my political career, I am prepared to do the job set out by the Prime Minister to me.
You just mentioned having new or appointing new technical people. Do you have any names that you'd like to see fill those posts? Any persons that come to mind?
Well, I'm just got the appointment today by the Prime Minister. I believe that I need to go into the ministry first of all, take a look at what exists, speak to the different various head of departments, listen to the people on the ground, listen to the nurses at these facilities. In the ministry itself, need to speak to the staff to see what are the challenges that they faced, what are the things that they would recommend. I can't tell you that I have any names, as I will lie you if I'm telling you that. I'm not going in there to any witch hunting. I'm going in there to get our Ministry of Health back on track and to work with the people that are there.
With shortages of equipment and other supplies in the ministry's hospitals and clinics, Minister Bernard told News 5 there will be many areas under review, and he hopes to work closely with the new CEO, whoever that may be.
I have to take a look at what is lacking in terms of resources, whether it is medical supplies, whether it is equipment needed in the various hospitals, whether it is human resource, capacity building, training, customer service matters that is related. All of these things fall into the service that we deliver to our citizens and our general public. And so I have to take a deep look of all of these things, but definitely my priority is to ensure that we could make much use of the resource we have, but to also look forward to making it even better to be able to provide a better service to the citizen of Belize. We're going to try to find the best fit to be the CEO in this ministry. Whoever it is that we choose, my goal is to ensure that we carry that ship together and we work hand in hand to ensure that there's effective leadership at the head, but at the same time, effective management throughout the ministry.
Sir, you are the Prime Minister's favored, you were his pick. Does this bring about any kind of rift, conflict between you and the now former minister?
I can tell you absolutely not. In fact, immediately after the Prime Minister met with me and made the decision, I reached out to Minister Shebat, who at the time was on a call. He returned my call, and we are scheduled to meet tomorrow after cabinet, and we will go through the things. There's, like I said, there's many success stories that we could point out to at the Ministry of Health that Minister Shebat has done, and we're going to look at what was there and what can be strengthened. What are some of the things that he feels as well needs to be strengthened and challenges he may have faced. So it is there's no such thing. We are very good colleagues. Myself and Minister Shebat worked very closely when I was the Minister of Sport, and similarly we continue to work together.
Minister Bernard has been the Minister of Sports since November of 2020, but he now leaves this to his colleague, Minister Rodwell Ferguson. He spoke about what he put in place with sports and what he believes will continue under Ferguson. He also commented on accomplishments at e-governance, which he now hands over to Francis Fonseca.
No, you gain health, but you lose sports. How? And sports was one of your favorite ministries or portfolios.
Well, all of them were. But no, I am telling you that while I may have lost sports, I can tell you though that what we have put in place at the Ministry of Sports, and I as well met with the minister who now takes over sports, Minister Ferguson, earlier today, and he has committed to continue the work with the people we have in place. And I can only tell you that with the same energy and passion that we brought it, Minister Ferguson, I'm confident that Minister Ferguson will do the same, because he has the people that will support him and that will push the development of sports in this country. And I will be here at the Minister of Health to support the initiative. Of course, you think about what you have accomplished over the year in the ministry, but knowing that you have the right people in place, that is the ingredient, that you have built the structure and you have the right people there to carry on the task with great leaders. I mean, let's look at e-governance, for example. We built e-governance from nothing to where it is. We have a national digital agenda, but it is now in the hand of a great minister as well. And I'm very confident that Minister Fonseca and his team will work closely with our e-governance unit to move that agenda forward.
And while Minister Kevin Bernard is now the new minister of the beleaguered Ministry of Health and Wellness, his ability to stare it out of the chaos is already being called into question by the opposition. This morning, the United Democratic Party held a press conference during which Bernard's latest appointment was criticized by party leader Patrick Faber.
Let me also add to this issue of the reshuffle that in our view, Kevin Bernard is not a fit and proper person to hold the Ministry of Health either. And in fact, we call on the Prime Minister to do what is right. In this time of crisis, appoint a senator, appoint a professional, somebody who can have a better handle on this situation. We see Kevin Bernard as merely a puppet of the Prime Minister, somebody who did a very mediocre, if at all, any kind of success can be deemed in the previous portfolio that he held. How now can we expect anything better from him at such a very, very vital and important ministry? Regarding the COVID crisis, while we in the UDP continue to support the government in the national efforts to fight the pandemic, there is still much to be desired in terms of the administration's stingy investment, socially, economically, and medically, which does not support the Prime Minister's patently untruthful claim in his New Year's address that to his government, every single Belizean life is worth fighting for. What a lie. And that his administration has spared no measure or expense, maybe for the Vega family.
The UDP also had harsh words for the Briceño administration's response to the COVID-19 pandemic, including the mountain death toll since the People's United Party assumed office in November 2020. Former Director of Health Services, Dr. Marvin Manzanero, was sidelined from active duty on the forefront shortly after Kaya North Area Representative Michelle Shabat took over the Ministry of Health and Wellness. All efforts were made to have Dr. Manza removed from the post altogether, and despite Shabat succeeding several months later, the office, which has since been bifurcated, still remains vacant.
He blamed, shortly after getting into office, of course, the situation on Dr. Manzanero, and he said that Manzanero's approach was the problem. Well, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was tremendously low. Not even 100, I am sure. Not even 75 deaths. 75 on the dot. Thank you, Jules. But if Manzanero could have been deemed a failure for 75 deaths, where do you categorize Misha Shabat for 607 deaths? Does he deserve the reward of even continuing to be a part of the PUP administration, the PUP's cabinet? And of course, as you've heard me say, we are no happier that Kevin Bernard is given the job because we don't believe that he's up to the task given the current situation that exists. And Mr. Prime Minister and Mr. New Minister of Health and Wellness, the same conditions will prevail in terms of our health system if you don't get a chief executive officer that can work and function in a professional manner with the minister and with the other ministry officials. If you don't properly secure those areas that come under, or what came under the Director of Health Services, which, as we know, they blew to smithereens and separated under two new positions, which still have not been filled to my knowledge.
Coming up, a son kills his father in San Roman. But was it murder or self-defense? Dwayne Moody reports from the scene when we return.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, avoid every kind of evil. In 64 years of preaching, I have met many people who think that they can do what they want to do, go where they want to go, enjoy what they want to enjoy, without it affecting their relationship to Christ or their influence on others. They remind me of a young lady defending her continual attendance at some doubtful places of amusement and said, "I think a Christian can go anywhere." Her friend responded, "Certainly she can. But I am reminded of a little incident that happened last summer when I went with a party of friends to explore a coal mine. One of the young women appeared dressed in a dainty white gown. When her friends remonstrated with her, she appealed to the old miner who was to act as a guide for the party. "Can I wear a white dress down into the mine?" "Yes, Mom," returned the old man. "There's nothing to keep you from wearing a white frock down there, but there will be a considerable to keep you from wearing one back." Our carelessness and thoughtlessness often becomes a means for the smut that tarnishes our character and witness. We should therefore abstain from evil, and all appearances of evil, or that which looks like it, leads to it, or borders upon it. He who is not shy of the appearances of sin, who shuns not the occasions of sin, and who avoids not the temptations and approaches to sin, will not long abstain from the actual commission of sin. It's a chance you cannot afford. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Digi, the premier name in voice and data, is also the country's leading provider of innovative services and solutions for small business and enterprise. At Digi Business, we offer solutions, tools, and applications to support your business needs. Reduce costs, improve efficiency, and excel in a changing world where no idea is too big and no task is too small. From technology advising to design implementation and management, our team of qualified solution sales and specialists can develop a reliable and robust infrastructure, allowing you to spend more time on what matters most, your business. Visit us online to explore how DigiBusiness innovative products and solutions can help your business reduce costs and improve efficiency.
Welcome to Brody's Pharmacy,
where our trained and licensed pharmacists have been serving the public for over 100 years.
Thank you. Brody's Pharmacy has the widest selection of vitamins and supplements that I need.
It's our mission to supply all your prescription needs. We take pride in our fast, friendly, and professional prescription services.
I am amazed at how professional these pharmacists are.
We are agents of all leading brands such as Fitzroy, Johnson, Denk, Carlisle, Quality Choice, Sophia, Pfizer, Dynarex, and so much more.
They have the highest quality medication in the country.
We keep coming to Brody's Pharmacy because of the extra care and attention we always receive here.
Excuse me, sir, can I help you with that?
Thank you, young man. See where we shop at Brody's Pharmacy?
We have 3 convenient locations in Belmopan, Belize City, Albert Street, and 2.5 miles to Bolson Highway. We also offer our wholesale services on all our medication. Come on over to Brody's Pharmacy for service, value, and satisfaction. Your health is our priority.
Keep your business running efficiently with computer products and accessories from Cellular World. We are the largest electronics stores in Belize, providing business solutions from trusted brands including Dell, HP, Lenovo, and Samsung, just to name a few. Our range of business PCs and electronics include desktop computers, laptops, desktop monitors, mouses, battery backups, smart TVs, and computer accessories that are backed up by warranties to keep your business always running smoothly. Call or visit us at any of our 5 Cellular World locations in Belize City, Belmopan, or San Pedro, and let our knowledgeable team help you to find the right solutions Cellular World. Low prices, more choices.
When something is good and you can save, that makes it even better. Like this guy, he buys Flex bundles using his promo credit. No worries when his primary credit is finished. He gets talk, text, and data for free. Or her, she calls her family internationally with her promo credit. And with data packages so affordable, she even does video calls. Smart continues to offer great deals and affordable promotions. As a small business owner, she saves when she uses her promo credit to call the other guys. All Smart customers enjoy more triple days and knowing they can use their promo credit, which just lasts longer. Smart, bringing people together.
A chopping incident this morning in a village in southern Belize appears to be the end result of years of violence within the Rivas Ical home. Amaya Salvador Rivas reportedly died at the hands of his eldest son, but an investigation is underway to determine whether the incident was a murder or self-defense. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports from San Roman Village in the Stan Creek district.
Santa Ical and Amaya Salvador Rivas share 7 children, 1 daughter and 6 sons, but they've been separated for quite some time. Since July of 2021, Ical and her boys have been living in a vegetated area of San Roman Village. But on Monday night, Rivas visited the family sometime after 9 o'clock. He slept in the kitchen, which is attached structure to the rear of the property. Before dawn, however, Rivas reportedly broke into the house where Ical and her children slept and attacked their 18-year-old son.
So last night, he came in like around 9 last night, and then he relaxed, but then he got inside there with my man. The rest of we stay right there, sleep, and then he relaxed, he stay and he quiet, right? He sleep with my man. And then like around 1 now, he get up, he start to quarrel with my man again. He start till he get vexed and angry, and then he just come in and want to try fight with my brother. But then like how my brother still asleep, he come in and want to try fight with my brother, try throw her in the hammock.
The violence started here inside the home of Santa Ical, where she and her children were sleeping. It ended with her eldest son, Alvin Rivas, chasing his father with a machete and ending his life a couple yards from where I'm standing.
My brother get up, one time he get up, that man there, he just get frightened and then he get up back, he run way outside. But at the same time, my brother don't get vexed already. So one time my brother get vexed, he just come outside and he pick up his machete and he gone. He chase her one time. And me one time, I still kind of sleep, right? But I hear what happened. And then I come outside, from through this door, I come out. I gone, one time I reach right there, I hear them done the make noise and I enter 2 of them already.
I see the person who was laid on the ground. I see he get chopped behind the head. I get chopped like 4 times. Yeah, so
bleeding profusely.
Bleeding, yeah. On the head, and the foot too, get chopped too.
Chairman Agustin Chuck then called the police, but there seems to have been a history of domestic violence for years that have gone unreported.
What her mother tell me, and the long time we getting in a problem every day. We have a problem with my husband every day. So I tell her, why go with me and do a report? Then I should call police for no. So the police should done to get to find out if have a problem every day. So like that, they should have a statement.
Yeah, like record
exactly.
The fact that there's been abuse.
So that's why right now I can't do nothing. I tell her. So, but the thing is, so I have to try to do a report how the thing happened.
What's going through your head right now? Your pa dead? What's happening to you?
No, nothing, because we kind of good, because one time he used to the Yahoo. You know how he like quarrel and then things like that with me. Yeah. One time we used to live at Jarstone.
But fit to know and all of that now?
Every day. My brother me and hurt he for a long time. But then he left her. My brother me feel sorry for him, so he left her. He just fight with her, yeah, but he never do nothing. And afterwards, he may feel like he still me bad that nobody me touch her yet. And one time he tell me, he chase with her and he tell me we can leave the son, man.
Rivas's body was transported to the Southern Regional Hospital where it awaits a post-mortem. Reporting from San Roman Village in Stan Creek, Dwayne Moody for News 5.
And while the incident is isolated, Chairman of San Roman, Augustine Chuck, says that it also brings into focus the need for police presence in the village. He says that a call was made to the substation in the neighboring village of Santa Cruz, and the officers responded to the scene. But in other instances, the request for police assistance has not been forthcoming.
Well, what I feel right now, because sometimes I call police, sometimes they are fighting on the road, and I call police and then they don't respond. So what I need to say right now, I know they will hear my voice, and they should supposed to one time I call them, they should supposed to come to see what happened in my village. And what the next thing I want to say, I need a police station in the village, because San Roman and Santa Road is very big. Yeah.
So the nearest police station is where?
From Santa Cruz. And sometimes I call Santa Cruz and they never respond. Yeah, they never respond. And sometimes they tell me, you have to call Independence. That's what they told me.
Which is even further away.
Yeah.
After the break, illegal purple onions flooding the market again. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
The best mobile experience in Belize? You don't know? Well, the truth is, Digi, our national telecom, of course. Digi has the largest mobile LTE advanced network with over 96% countrywide coverage, offering the fastest mobile LTE data speeds at the most affordable rates with mobile plans that fit your lifestyle. The truth is, only Digi gives the ultimate mobile LTE experience. Visit your nearest Digi store to join the bigger, better network today. Digi, our national telecom. Visit us online at www.livedigi.com.
The BWS app is here and is available for download from the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. BWS customers can use the app to view water usage and current bill, read your own meter, apply for new residential and commercial connections, apply for reconnection, make reports, contact BWS customer service, and much more. Download the BWS app today.
Belize Water Services, delivering water and more.
Bingo players, you have the chance to get your hands on a big one. The Mega Bingo Progressive Jackpot is now at $619,936, so you don't want to miss your chance to win it. Purchase your tickets from the nearest outlet so you can get in on the game. Over $500,000 can be yours. So make sure you tune into the live show that airs on Channel 5, Radio Bahia, and Love FM at 8 p.m. this Wednesday, January 12th. You can also play the bingo game online by logging into Facebook or YouTube. Just search for Belize Mega Bingo. The jackpot and many more big cash prizes can be yours. Don't miss the next show. Mega Bingo is the game.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, The George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Bundle the fastest, most reliable, unlimited broadband in Belize with your prepaid or postpaid mobile plan or Netflix. You can bundle your broadband with your prepaid and enjoy 50% off all national calls, plus get SMS and data. Paid plans? Then bundle with any speed and pay only $25 extra monthly to enjoy unlimited smart-to-smart calls, plus 500 minutes, plus 6,300 megabytes of data. Stream unlimited HD movies and TV shows with our broadband, plus the Netflix add-on for only $30 monthly, and enjoy streaming on your laptop, TV, phone, or tablet. Visit a smart showroom near you to sign up or upgrade to the bundle that's right for you. Smart, bringing people together.
What is the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is an RNA vaccine that triggers our immune system to develop antibodies against the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. It helps to reduce hospitalization, severity of the disease, and death. What is the Pfizer vaccine made of, and is it safe? The Pfizer vaccine is made up of mRNA messenger ribonucleic acid, which are molecules that carry the genetic information needed to make proteins, lipid, salts, and sugar. It is safe for persons 12 years and older and does not contain the COVID-19 virus, hence cannot cause infection. Tests have shown that the vaccine is effective against current virus variants. Who should take the Pfizer vaccine? The Pfizer vaccine should be taken by persons 12 years of age and older who do not have severe allergic reaction after a previous dose of vaccine or have not had severe allergic reaction to any ingredient of this vaccine. 2 doses of the vaccine are required 3 weeks apart. If you are between the ages of 12 and 17 years, you are required to present a signed consent form before you are vaccinated. What are the side effects of the Pfizer vaccine? Some common side effects of the Pfizer vaccine are headache, fatigue, muscle pain, fever, chills, and swelling at the injection site. If side effects persist, contact your doctor as soon as possible. Does the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine prevent infection and transmission? No, vaccination alone does not prevent infection and transmission. We are still required to continue to wear masks properly, physically distance, wash and sanitize hands often, practice proper coughing and sneezing hygiene, and avoid crowds.
Classes resumed on Monday for primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions across the country, despite a considerable spike in the number of active COVID-19 cases. Former Chief Executive Education Officer Dr. Carol Babb is the Secretary General of the United Democratic Party. Today, she weighed in on the reopening of schools and the challenges that administrators are facing due to a lack of resources in the classrooms.
The principals are complaining. The complaint is that they don't have supplies, that the Ministry of Education provides them with a link. And they said, go on that link, and if you need supplies, let us, and we will provide it for you. Well, the link, the principals are complaining that they pressed the link and they followed what they were to follow, and there has been no response at all. It is unclear what help, if any, will be forthcoming to struggling schools. One principal told me, he said they called him for supplies. He has about 800 students. He got a map, a broom, a gallon of Clorox, and a gallon of flash or something else. He said he didn't go for it. It cost him more in gas to go and pick up the few supplies. Children who are dependent on school's transportation are left guessing about the availability of transportation. A safer reopening requires an investment from the government that goes way beyond an education media campaign. Yes, they've spent a lot of money on media campaign, Jules. You should know. And you know what they did? Just before the opening of school, Sunday night to be exact, there were many messages going on. Principals were saying many of our schools, many of our parents don't have internet, they don't have devices, so they do not have access to that kind of information. The Ministry of Education, as the party leader said, they need to invest in tests. They need to ensure that vaccines are available for children 5 to 12 years old.
Mayor Earl Trapp, in responding to claims made by his colleagues in the San Ignacio Town Council, shared his perspective on the proposed hiring of a new town administrator. The candidate of choice for the 5 PUP councillors is Horace Grant, a supporter of the party, whom Trapp maintains is less than qualified for the office. According to the besieged mayor, the council was fully aware of the requirements for the post prior to the submission of applications. Today, Trapp responded to the press conference held by the councillors in Belize City on Monday.
The press conference were more about appointing a suitably qualified town administrator. They knew about the prerequisites when the post was placed on social media, and that we do need someone with a bachelor's degree in administration. I can tell you that since we had Dr. Flowers as my former administrator, before that we had Ms. Karen Fernandez, and since then, prerequisite was placed, and that was the minimum, a bachelor's degree, because we had brought the town to a certain level, and we want to ensure that it remained there and better. The ad for the post of administrator deadline was the 15th of December. They suggested to extend the deadline date for submission of application to the 20th of December, and we did. They are now insisting on hiring someone with a high school diploma. The town administrator is the highest office at the town hall or the municipality level. Is Mr. Grant the best these 5 PUP councillors could come up with? The only good PUP that is out there, slap in the face to other qualified unemployed Belizeans. End of quote. It is sad that these 5 PUP councillors are very much into attention. They do know that some of the information at the council are confidential, yet they tried to sneak out information for someone to analyze for them. They have preoccupied themselves in trying to put down the mayor and council, rather than focusing on their portfolios and how to attract finances for projects. As the mayor, I have been very cooperative with them in offering support in employment, additional allowances, and other requests. Excuse me. I consider my colleagues an intelligent people, people of talent, and people that can bring more deserving development to the people of this municipality. The people of the Twin Towns will always deserve better.
On Monday, Deputy Mayor Matthew Preston accused Mayor Earl Trapp of nepotism, claiming that the head of the municipal government has hired his relatives for key offices within the San Ignacio Town Council. Mayor Trapp's response is that the persons who are employed by the town board are persons who are willing to go above and beyond in accomplishing the work of the council.
You have the son procurement officer, niece as a cashier. The nephew, we explained to the mayor that we want to hire an operations manager. He says he will appoint his nephew as a temporary operations manager. And like we said, they submitted the budget for 2022 to 2023 without us knowing. We wanted to put a position for operation manager. So now you control procurement, you control finances and receivables. So you see what we're saying, nepotism, where's the transparency in that?
We have so many people that work out there. And you know what? When you employ people and give people opportunity to work on weekends, those are the people that give their all. You don't want to employ people to come and do overtime, and when they come, they work 1 hour, 2 hours, and talk about wanting to sit down or go home. You employ or invite people to come that want to give their all. That's one of the reasons why I said to my council, why do you believe San Ignacio and Santa Elena looks the way it looks today? It's because we have been pushing all the works, you know? If you want to go back to a filthy tongue, then I can retract the workers from working weekend, but as a responsible mayor, I will do all I can to ensure that our community to be the shining star on top of the hill.
The oversaturation of the local market with illegally imported onions has been a long-standing issue for Belizean farmers, especially during harvesting. Over the weekend, one onion farmer from Cristo Rey village in the north took to social media, saying he has been unable to sell his produce because the markets are filled with contraband. News 5 spoke with Minister Jose Abelardo May today about the ministry's investigation.
I saw a post on Facebook where Mr. Chair was saying that they had onions that they could not market because the market was saturated with onions imported. I visited Mr. Chair's farm on Sunday, and yes, he did have onions in his storage facility. He says he's been cultivating 1 acre, 1.5 acres, something like that. What I did note is that the onions were just recently harvested, so they need to be cured. They have to be dried and cured before you market them. Nevertheless, he does have onions, and then I also took note of his comment that the market is filled with imported onions. So I went to the market in Orinjoak and did see some white onions, very few yellow onions, and some purple onions. Our extension officers visited all the markets, all the stalls to see what is the volume. There is indeed some white onions on the market. It's not a whole lot of onions because we manage the importation. We only import the weekly consumption, which is 85,000 pounds, because we know that we're about to import to start harvesting onions. What kind of surprised me is that looking at the numbers that were coming in from the reports, is that there was, I think, like 7,000 pounds of purple onions on the market, but we only gave license for 8,000 pounds, right? Because that's a specific onion. Purple onion is not a big seller; it's a specific for specific uses. So it triggered me that on the 21st we issued the last license of December, and up to the 10th or 11th we still had 7,000. So out of 8,000, only 1,000 pounds was sold, which leads me to believe that there is illegal onions on the market.
According to Minister May, within hours of his visit to Mr. Ches farm, the Belize Marketing and Development Corporation, BMDC, was able to secure a sale for those onions. Furthermore, Minister May noted that whatever imported onions are on the market should be absorbed in the next week, making room for local onions. Additionally, Minister May says his ministry is creating a plan to work closely with customs to detect and prevent the illegal importation of onions into Belize. The Ministry of Infrastructure Development is urging those who travel the Belize River to exercise caution near the Hullover Bridge as a replacement works get underway. The Ministry of Infrastructure Development announced today that 2 foundation piers will be constructed in the river at a location just downstream of the existing bridge. Barges will be used as platforms for heavy equipment during pile driving and the construction of the piers beginning on January 15th. These may move around at times, so caution is being urged by those using the river. No wake signs will also be erected to remind boaters to go slow when approaching the Hullover Bridge from both sides. Just ahead, the many ways in which COVID-19 is affecting businesses. But first, here's a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
It's a fact that your credit lasts longer when using Smart. During these times, we're all trying to find ways to cut costs and save the little resources we have. With Smart, it's easy to do that. It's a fact that with Smart, your credit lasts longer. You can call Smart to Smart and Smart to Digi using your promo credit, while with the other guy, you can only call OnNet, Digi, or BTL numbers. What does this mean? You get to call any national number using your promo credit. Your promo credit is free, so that call is also free. Know your facts. Don't be tricked by the other guy. Be smart and save your dollars.
Connecting people. Creating memories.
So here we are at the Glaze Out Kitchen. I just prepared this amazing broccoli.
Sharing a smile. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
It's no secret that businesses across the country have been severely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Going into the third year, business owners across the country continue to brace for impact, shoring up their investments as best as they can. We have all seen the rapid increase in COVID-19 cases caused by the Omicron variant. And while it's not causing the severe cases of illness like that of Delta, the rapid increase in infections can be potentially damaging for those businesses already in limbo or teetering on the edge. News 5 asked Senator Kevin Herrera, senator for the business community, for an overview of the current situation.
I think there are several impacts, Paul. One is you have the labor component. Then, of course, you have the loss of business component, because when these viruses are rampant throughout the community, people tend to want to move around less. And as well as, we change their mind, or even if they don't change their mind, there's this situation right now with quite a number of flight cancellations. I think over one weekend, I think there was like 6,000 flight cancellations worldwide. And so I think that's a real threat. In addition to that cost, there's also the sick out costs, that, Social Security has to bear a part of that cost, as well as employers. And so it is an area that, has a significant impact in terms of, the economy and how things are going. So it's you're getting it at several angles with this virus.
One of the costs to employers and business owners that most people don't consider is the cost of having an employee out on sick leave. While it is necessary for an employee to isolate once that person has contracted COVID-19, what an employer pays for that employee being out of service constitutes a loss.
One is, you don't have a surplus of employees. I mean, you employ the employees you need. And so when any of those employees are out because they're sick, that puts you in a situation where you're limited to provide those services for which that person was assisting with, or the products that they were doing. And so it is certainly a handicap from that perspective, as well as you still have to pay 20% of the cost of that employee. Social Security covers the other 80%. And you're paying for something that you're not getting any value from, because that employee is not there contributing. Now, for some industries like the BPOs, employees are able to work from home, even though they may test positive. And I say that, and let me make a little clarification there. Many times when people test positive, they're not necessarily ill. They could feel quite fine. They could have no symptoms, just that they've tested positive. And so in those cases, especially in the BPO sector, persons are able to go home and work from home and continue providing the services there. But in many of the businesses in the country, Paul, they don't necessarily are able to do that.
We also asked Senator Herrera for his thoughts on the reopening of the land borders and how local businesses have been able to stay afloat as a result of the closures.
Sympathize with persons who may want to go over the border, to do a little shopping and that type of thing, Paul. But the truth is that I think we all have to support what is being done at the borders. Business have been bad overall, and I think the more we can encourage Belizeans to spend at home during this time, I think the better it is. Remember, these are the same businesses that are providing employment, and so if persons are going over to shop over in Chetumal, the businesses that are providing those products for them are not providing any employment for Belizeans, and so I are not paying any taxes into our system. And so, you know, I really think, given the circumstances right now, that it was a good thing that, you know, those borders were closed, and allow, you know, some of these companies to survive and be able to hold on a little longer.
The U.S. government today donated 12 ventilators to the Ministry of Health and Wellness to support the ongoing fight against COVID-19. The donation was facilitated by the U.S. Embassy's Secretary Corporation Office and funded by the U.S. Department of Defense Southern Command through its Humanitarian Assistance Program. Valued at $400,000 Belize dollars, the ventilators are life-saving medical equipment at a time when COVID-19 cases are rapidly increasing across the country. To date, the American people have contributed approximately 10 million Belize dollars in COVID-19 assistance to Belize. The Joint Bravo Task Force's motto is progress through unity, and that is exactly what they are seeking to accomplish in Belize over the next 2 weeks. The Kiel Bill Toucan Humanitarian and Disaster Relief Exercise is taking place in Ladyville, Belize District. JFT Bravo is a military team out of the United States Southern Command equipped with unique airlift capabilities and the capacity to quickly respond to save lives in the immediate aftermath of a natural disaster. United States Embassy Chargé d'Affaires Layla Moses has described the training as, quote, "The United States is demonstrating its commitment to the safety and security of the Belizean people," unquote. Leading JFT Bravo is Commander Colonel Stephen Venter. He noted that exercises like Kiel Bill Toucan allowed U.S. forces to drill for a real-life event in case they need to assist Belize. Approximately 150 U.S. service members are participating in the training. Residents in Ladyville should expect helicopters flying in their area during the training. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.